I'm not sucking no dicks. I'm not doing no shit like that. And so I stopped it. Well, I got arrested several times.
Okay.
I got incarcerated. I'll be sure.
I'll be sure.
I'll be sure is my bae. We're very, very close. And then he came in the room. I'm blushing. Under this foundation, I'm blushing. And nobody never not fucked a bitch because she fat. It's never happened in the history of the world. But that's why you got a bunch of fat, pregnant women. Shit. So I ain't ashamed of these old saggy titties. 90% of the women in the country got saggy ass titties. You know, I do comedy. I'm not gonna bust it open. I had a
Comedy Divas, we run this town.
Hello, hello, and welcome to the Comedy Divas Girl Talk podcast, where we talk to funny divas from the stage to the screen to behind the scene and everywhere in between to tell their amazing stories, because you know what? They just aren't told enough. We have a very special diva in the house tonight, but please like, subscribe, tell us what you think of this amazing interview, and we'll get started. We have a legend. It's Luenell. You've seen her on First Amendment, Dolomite, A Star Is Born, Coming to America 2. There's so many credits. She had a Netflix special called Town Business. You've seen her tour with Cat Williams. You've seen her perform at Jimmy Kimmel's Vegas Club. She's currently on Crutch with Tracy Morgan on Paramount, and she is a legend. Please welcome Luenell. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
We love you on Comedy Divas. Your videos we repost, and it always gets great numbers. We promote
Amen.
you.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. So this is to get to know you, for people to love on you and celebrate you. So I always like to ask, when did you know you were funny?
I don't know. My family is funny.
Okay.
But we're like shitty funny.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like everybody might not think we're funny. Some people might get their feelings hurt. That's the way. We're thick-skinned. Mm-hmm. I think it's just a family thing. Mm-hmm. But I didn't really hone into it until later. I did theater first, and then comedy came after that.
Do you feel you were an actress who became a comedian?
I don't feel like I'm really an actress.
Okay.
I feel like I'm a comedian that acts.
Okay.
Like I'm not Viola Davis or anything like that, but I am gifted with comedy, for sure. It's a gift. Everybody can't do it, but everybody thinks they can.
Absolutely. It's very hard.
Yeah, but everybody thinks they can.
Yeah, I respect it. Everybody can. But that's why there are only a few elite. You're one of the elite. Not everybody can do it right.
I'll take that.
Absolutely. And so when did you make that leap? What made you go, okay, I'm getting on stage? And what was that first time like on stage?
Oh, it was sort of like a invitation. Because I had a roommate. I was living in Long Beach in the, I guess, late 80s, early 90s. Late 80s, early 90s. And I had a roommate who was dating a guy who ran a club much like this. It was called Miss Wiz. It was in Long Beach, California. And he would be at the house all the time. And he thought that I was funny. And he said, you know, you ought to do comedy. You ought to come to my club. If you come to my club, I'll let you on the minute you walk in. And I said, I don't want to be no comedian. But then I did start thinking about some things that were funny that had happened to me, because I still remain a storyteller more than like a joke teller. And so after several margaritas, one night me and my girls decided to go down to the club, and there was somebody on stage. As soon as they were over, he did introduce me. I went on stage, and the first time, I killed it, the very first time. When I stepped off stage, a guy came up to me and said, you know, you funny, you ought to come to my club. And that guy, the man I met on the first day I ever did comedy, was the late, great Robin Harris.
Really?
I met Robin Harris the first time I ever stepped off stage doing comedy. I went to his club, which was called the Comedy Act Theater in Los Angeles, California.
Legendary theater.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Mm-hmm. And Robin would host there every week. And everybody would come down there, young D.L. Hughley, young Jamie Foxx, young Tommy Davidson, everybody. And then just started meeting people and going up, and it sort of just snowballed. And then, of course, Comic View came around. And that's when African-American comedians were able to get on TV, not just sometime, but weekly. And I got a chance to do that like 8 times.
8 times?
Yeah, something like that.
Really? That's awesome. And people, kudos to Comic View because it did give a light. People talk about Def Jam, but they need to talk about Comic View more because
Yeah,
it gave a lot of
absolutely.
people.
Def Jam actually hurt some comics and they don't know it. Because as I was starting to act, there were producers who would not see a Def Jam comic because they were so narrow-minded. They think like we have Tourette's syndrome and that we can't be clean if we were seen as dirty. And on Comic View, you couldn't cuss.
Right.
Even though people think we did, we didn't.
No.
But on Def Jam, it was required. And I ain't got no problem doing neither one. I can cuss with the best of them.
No, do you? I wouldn't know. And what were some of the challenges you had as a young comic coming up?
Well, just being a female for sure.
For sure, yeah.
Being from Oakland and not LA, I had to get down there. I wasn't living in LA at that time when I was first starting to do comedy. Even though I started in Long Beach, I'd moved back to Oakland. And not, I don't know, I didn't have a lot of challenges because when I was in Oakland, I was working on a television show, a local cable television show called the Soul Beat Television Network. I had a show on there, and they used to have a thing called the Bay Area Black Comedy Competition, and all the comics from everywhere would come to Oakland for that competition.
That was
when they came to Oakland,
yes.
they would come on our TV show. So when I did go back to LA, I knew a lot of the comics already, so it wasn't as hard as someone who's just coming to LA and doesn't know anybody. But still, you had to go through the ranks. You had to go through the ranks to get stage time and all that.
For sure. And there were, that was I know California, so that's a big, long trip. Did you used to drive? Did you take a plane?
Drive, ride, skateboard, roller skate, anything going to LA, I was always hopping in somebody's car or something like that. And drove a lot. And, at that time, nobody was flying anywhere. If you lived in New York, you want to be on Comic View, you get 4 comics, get in the car and drive to New York to come to LA do Comic View. So any way we could move.
For sure. And then, you said, this is a tougher role for Black female comics. Did you have to, deal with the things with promoters? Were those any challenges for you as well?
Maybe I did, but I didn't.
Okay.
Because, I'm a pretty hardcore chick, and so the comedy circuit is not really where you want to be if you're real dainty and mamsy-pamsy, because you're going to be around a bunch of niggas all the time.
For sure.
And you end up losing a bit of your femininity if you're going to go toe-to-toe with these guys. First of all, to get noticed, you have to be consistent. You can't have 2 bad days, have a good day, have a bad day, have 3 good days. Nobody gives a shit about your bad days. You better have good days.
For sure.
And I tend to have pretty good days most of the time. Like, I've never been booed. Everybody says, everybody gets booed. No, I've never been booed, ever. The worst I've ever had is the silent treatment from doing one of them 12 comic Rip Michaels shows, and you're not the number 11th comic. And they're like, yawn, we tired, you know what I mean? And that was here in New York. But I've never been booed.
And when did you know, like, I made it? This is it.
I haven't made it.
Okay.
I'm still trying to make it. I don't have a show. I've never been a part of a family of a show, like A Different World or Living Single or Martin or something like that. I've never been that. I've always had a little I'm like the pop-up queen. I pop up all over the place. I'm very visible. But I think until I get something that's earth-shattering, I don't feel like I've done anything earth-shattering yet. Yeah, I got a Netflix special that's produced by Dave Chapelle, great. And yeah, I did Borat, which was pretty iconic. I've been in 2 Academy Award nominated films, Borat and A Star Is Born.
Yeah.
And I've worked with a lot of great people, and I do a lot of hustling, but I don't feel like I've made it yet.
So I always like to ask too, who were some of your fun celebrity encounters?
I'll Be Sure.
I'll be sure.
I'll Be Sure is my bae. We're very, very close. Chappelle, of course. Rosanne Barr, believe it or not,
Really?
before she went nuts. Yeah, Rosanne was a big influence on my career because Rosanne was somebody who was unlikely superstar. They said, you're older, you're fat, you're a trailer trash, you got 5 kids, you funny in this diner, but you're not what we're looking for in Hollywood. And she went on to be one of the biggest female comedians, shows, and executives in the history of television, you know? So she was a big influence. I like to look at her as an inspiration. Joan Rivers I never met, but I would have loved to.
Yeah.
She's very inspirational to me. You know, LaWanda Page, who I never met, but she was inspirational because she did stand up before she ever went on Sanford and Son. But I'm happy to have met, like, you know, Bradley Cooper when I did A Star is Born. He's amazing. And I'm happy to know people like Kathy Griffin, who was really, really fun too. I'd love to say that, you know, like Whoopi, of course, Whoopi, Goldberg, Wanda Sykes. Those, you know, lots of people. I've met a lot of people that make me go, lots.
Now, you touched on something because I always like to ask, if there was a Mount Rushmore of black women in comedy, who would your 4 be?
Whoopi, LaWanda. I guess what I'd have to say, because there's not a lot. Maybe Monique.
Okay.
Probably Monique. She had a show.
Sure.
She won the Oscar.
She sure did.
She's a funny ass comedian.
She sure is.
A little funnier when she was fatter. She's a traitor.
She traded to the fat girls.
Fucking bitch lost weight and said fuck us. And maybe me.
There you go. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Me.
That's right. Put yourself up there. A lot of people agree. And, you know, you were a mom on the road. How hard was that?
Still a mom on the road.
Absolutely. So how hard was that?
That was fucked up because everybody supports a man being on the road, moms at home. A man can be on the road in the military. A man can be on the road in a band. A man can be on the road being a comic. But when mommy's not there to give you your medicine when you're sick, when mommy's not there to go to your recital, when mommy's not there to go to your prom, you know, for your prom champagne party and stuff, then we catch all kind of hell about that, even if we finance it. So, you know, you can't be in 2 places at one time, so something's going to suffer. When they say you can't have it all, you can't have it all. You can't have a good relationship, be a good mom, and be great. See, there's a lot of people who do comedy, they're good, they want to be good, but I'm trying to be great. I'm trying to be on that Mount Rushmore. I'm trying to get my star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I want to have my grandkids know who their grandmother was, even though I don't have any grandchildren yet, you know. So, yeah, it's been difficult.
Yeah.
There's resentment, for sure. I mean, my daughter and I were on Eon to Fix My Life. Our life is not fixed. We're still working on that. But, you know, I know that the love is there.
For sure.
And my daughter, I think, does ultimately respect my hustle, even if it's at the cost of me not being there all the time.
Understood.
And, you know, you get the mommy guilt.
Of course. Of
Yeah.
course, because you love her. And you said you feel like you didn't make it, even some of us disagree. But what would be the dream project? Let's put it in the universe. What would be your dream project that you want to do?
Well, I wanted to be the next black female in late night television.
Okay.
Monique had a late night show. Robin Thede had a late night show. I just don't feel like they were the right one because those they still be on the air. So I would like that. Everybody has told me it's not going to happen. You know, I talked to Arsenio. He said, girl, they're not going to let you in. I talked to Jimmy Kimmel, and we're working on something, but it ain't that. I talked to George Lopez, and he was like, girl, no. It's a very white, male-dominated game that I'm trying to crack. And I want to be on network TV like CBS. They're like, hell no. So I'm probably going to have to do something like that on a streaming service or whatever like that. If I didn't have that, then I would want my own show. You know, I don't care what people say about Monique. I have to pattern myself after her.
For sure.
The Parkers is a great show.
Yes, it was.
Always has been. It will remain that. You know, and I want to get, you know, Emmys and stuff like that. I want to have writers that help me write in my own voice. You know, I don't want a hack ass show. You know, I don't like that canned laughter shit. I don't like, and you know, maybe I'm fantasizing because I guess some things have to be pre-recorded maybe or whatever, but I just don't like it. You know, there was a show called Frank's Place years ago, had no laughter at all.
Tim Reed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had no laughter at all. And shit was hilarious and great and funny. And I'd rather have that than have that canned laughter. It makes everything cheap.
He was before his time. He
Yeah.
was before his time. Because if you think of something like Everybody Hates Chris.
Yeah.
That's like there's no like a
Yes.
single can
Right.
like that.
Yes.
Or even Insecure, some of the more.
Yeah, right.
Something like that.
So I like stuff like that. So I'd like to have my own show, you know. And I'd like to be able to not be on the road if a time comes when my daughter does get pregnant. That's when I have to draw the line. If I was on the road during her life, I don't want to leave her home pregnant. I want to be there. I want to go to the doctor appointments. They already call me a helicopter mom because I'd be like, what's that? Who's that? Where are you going? What are you doing? You know, I can't find your location. What's your location? What's going on? And so, but I want to be there. I got pregnant a month after my mother passed away. So I didn't have nobody to help me. I had to figure it out.
Oh,
Still
wow.
figuring it out.
Sorry about that.
But yes, that was crazy. But I want to be there for my daughter, for her. I want to be there. I want to be a grandma. So I don't want to be on the road every week. I still want to do the road work because I love clubs. I love clubs more than I love arenas. I'll do clubs and theaters. But arenas, I'll do those too, but it's not my preference. Because I want to feel it, you know? And so I'd like to just maybe go out once a month or twice a month and that's it. And be home more.
I love it. That's beautiful. I'm sure your daughter's going to appreciate that.
Yeah, she don't have to get pregnant no time soon.
And if she does, are you going to be, I know people have different titles. Will you be a grandma, glamma?
They can call me Grammy.
Okay.
I don't mind Grammy.
You ready.
Yeah.
You're ready.
Yeah, I love babies and stuff.
Oh.
But, you know, they got to be good babies. The bad babies, I'm like, don't bring that little motherfucker over here. Please. You're not raising them right. Whip his ass. I think that's what's happening. That's what's wrong with the kids today. Everything went wrong when you stopped hitting the kids. I don't give a fuck who don't like it. But the kids ain't scared of their parents no more.
It's true.
Yeah, well, I will clown you, fuck you up, embarrass you. Everybody knows that. So that won't be my problem. I didn't even have a kid like that. My kid is good. She goes to church, like now still, like alone, you know? And how many kids get up and go to church these days?
It's true. Now, I want to talk about Crutch with Tracy Morgan. How did that happen? How'd you like working on it?
I've worked with Tracy several times. I did The Last OG with Tracy. I think Tracy used to do The Garden on April Fools. He did some, I think like there's another theater in Madison Square Garden. And I think that's where it was. It wasn't a Radio City, it was The Garden. And I used to do his April Fool's shows. We've done all kind of little wacky stuff together. And he called me.
Nice.
I don't think I auditioned for that. Yeah, I think I just got the call. So I love Tracy.
And you
He's a
played-
walking miracle.
He really is.
He's a miracle.
He really is a miracle.
To have his mind right, to even be able to memorize anything and still be funny when he was as close to death as anybody could be, he's a miracle. I'd do anything he asked me to.
Well, that's wonderful. It's nice when your friends call and you guys can work together and play together.
Yeah.
And you play like the nosy neighbor?
Yes, I sort of think that my character is reminiscent of Rose, who used to be on 227.
Yes.
Who used to be in the window.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that. That's what I think of.
Okay. That's who you kind of channeled.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. And you have talked about this before. I'm going to jump a little bit. And you got arrested years ago
Yes.
for
Well, I got arrested several times.
Okay.
I got incarcerated. The big jailing was about 26 years ago.
About 26 years ago. There's something that caught up to you. What was the story?
The official charge is embezzlement. You can call it bank robbery for my street cred. And so I took some money from a bank that I was working at.
And they didn't know. Or they
No, they knew later.
later.
When the audit and the feds came, they had a clue then. But I knew this bank was going to go out of business. I had been in banking for years. And I used to get written up for using profanity within customer earshot And that's what they said officially. I'd be like, what the fuck, how much money is it? You know, and I'd be talking like that or making customers laugh. And people wanted to be in my line instead of other people's lines. So I was a little too popular. But I knew this particular bank was going out of business. I knew they weren't doing their business correctly. And, you know, they let me in the vault and something came over me. And I just grabbed a stack of bread and the rest is history.
The rest is history. And I touched on this before, but I just really think it was fun, your relationship with Bruno Mars. And how did that start, and what was it like when you finally met him? Look at you.
Okay, so I love Bruno. I think he's cute. I think he's super talented, like Prince. And, you know, he can play multiple instruments. His mom died early in his career. I just really, really fell in love with him and his happy aura and his talent and everything. So one day I made a video. Well, he was coming to L.A. and I wanted to go see him. And I was about to buy tickets. And I was just in the bathroom and I made a video and I was like, hey, Bruno, this is Luenell. I think you're really talented. I just love you to death. Tell your security, look at my face because I'm going to be trying to come backstage and see you. Tell them, don't fucking stop me because I'm coming backstage and I'm coming to see you. And it went like viral and he got wind of it and he reposted it and said, well, I guess I know who I'm going to be singing with when I come to L.A. I was like, oh my God. So then his manager, who was still my friend, reached out to me and gave me tickets. It gave me 2 tickets. I asked for 3 because, you know, pushy-ass black woman. And I had to bring my daughter and my girlfriend. So we went to the concert. We sat in a certain place, which is where his family was sitting. And then his manager came and got me and my daughter and my girlfriend and took us backstage. And we were waiting in a room for him. And then he came in the room. I'm blushing. Under this foundation, I'm blushing. And we just started messing around. He was very funny. And he said, do you want to make a video? And I was like, yeah, should I take my clothes off or what do you want to do? And he was like, no. And he told me what he wanted me to do. And I did that. And he didn't, we interacted a little bit. And he said, I'm going to have the pictures and the video for you tomorrow. I was like, oh my God. So we went back and enjoyed the show. The show was lit. This was before they started locking up the phones. So I've got video of that show and everything. You know, so the next day we were waiting. And my daughter ran in. She said, Mom, it's up. And he had dropped it on YouTube or something, or on the gram, I think, because it was 1 minute. And we made a video. He put him and me together. And then we were together physically for real at the end of the video. And it's on YouTube. You can pull up Luenell and Bruno Mars. You look for the 1 minute video, and that's it. And it is also in the video that opens my shows.
Nice. Congratulations.
Yeah. I know. It's a gift that keeps on giving.
And I also wanted to talk about, we mentioned your special on Netflix, produced by Dave Chapelle.
Yes.
And listen, it's really hard for black women to get specials. It's really hard to get just attention and get that spotlight. So what was it like for him to reach out and give you that spotlight, hand it to you, which is well earned, and it being on such a huge platform? And it was hilarious. So what was
it is a good special. I'm proud of it.
And you're sitting pretty in it too.
Yes, thank you. He did reach out to me. First of all, I had met him. Oh, the first time we met was at the Montreal Comedy Festival. Okay? And I was like sitting like at his feet, just watching him, not knowing that in his mind he knew who I was and was paying attention to me watching him. I didn't know. The next time I saw him was at the Saturday Night Live taping when Eddie went back.
Oh,
the
yes.
Saturday Night Live, Tracy Morgan
That was huge.
had invited me to come down. So me and my manager, William, we came out here to New York. We went to Rock Center, and we went to the taping. We were there, and there was, you know, everybody on stage, Chappelle and Chris Rock and Tracy and, you know, Keenan, and you know, all the big boys.
Yeah.
And then I'm over there, hi. And I saw him there, and when he saw me, he was like, the queen is here. And I thought Queen Latifah was behind me. I'm like, where's Queen? And he was talking to me. We took pictures and everything. So then the next time I saw him, I had got a message, I think, from my agent that said, hey, Chappelle wants to see you. He's going to fly you out. I'm like, what? And so me and my daughter, once again, because I tried to take her along with all the epic stuff. And we flew out to Yellow Springs. This was during COVID, when he had built that amphitheater in the cornfield. We went out there, and I met a bunch of people, and he asked me to perform, and I did. Well, he was sitting next to my daughter, and he told my daughter, he said, I'm going to get your mom a Netflix special, and I'm going to give her X amount of dollars. And he still ain't told me, he told my daughter, well, number one rule as a black mom, you can lie to me, don't lie to my kid.
That's right.
So when he told her, I knew this was probably going to happen. Months went by, we had to, I'd send this and do that. And then he asked me, so where do you want to tape this special at? You can tape it anywhere you want to. You want to tape it in Paris, or you want to tape it in Hawaii, wherever you want to tape it.
Wow.
I said I want to tape it in Oakland, because I wanted to give that as a love letter back to the city that actually gave me my swag. So we taped it at Yoshi's in Oakland, California, and I'm very happy with it. He went all out. Have you seen it?
Yes.
You remember the airport stuff?
Yes.
So, that was in a simulated plane on a movie set. Had to hire the extras to sit in the plane. Yeah, and so that was over and beyond.
It was a whole production.
Yeah, it
for
was.
you.
It was. It was great. It's a great special.
Yeah.
So check it out.
It's awesome. Even I love your outfit in it. You're sitting there on your throne.
The same lady who made that made this and made what I'm.
Beautiful.
Yeah, Angela Dean. She's a black designer.
Yes.
She designs for Patty and for Chaka and stuff like that. And actually, that outfit that I wore in the Netflix special, I'm donating it to the African American Museum that I told you about earlier. So because they do have a comedy section, so they're gonna have a mannequin with that outfit with my shoes and pants.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're part of history.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm already in the museum.
That's congratulations.
Yeah.
Very few get to get that honor. So
Yeah.
it's well deserved.
Crazy.
Yeah. So I want to talk about, and you talked about OF earlier, and
OnlyFans.
Yeah.
For those who don't know what OF is.
So what did you do for them? But you had made news before for Penthouse, was it?
Yeah, I did a 6-page spread in Penthouse.
Okay.
Semi-nude. Well, nude. But hastily shot. I'll say it like that. I wasn't busting it open for Penthouse. Or anybody. Well, anyway, the only reason I started the OnlyFans is because I had also had that. I was a Savage X Fenty lingerie ambassador for Rihanna
Nice.
for 2 years. I had all these hot-ass lingerie photos, also tastefully shot. I'm like, well, what am I going to do with all these pretty-ass pictures, Need to do something with them. They're just here. So I said, well, let's start an OnlyFans, and I'll put the lingerie pictures on the OnlyFans. You know what? And so I did that. And they liked that. And then they was like, okay, what else you got? And I was like, okay, well, I got good feet. Let's do the feet. And they was like, that's cool. What else you got? I said, well, I guess I could do some titty shots or whatever like that. They're going to know it's me because of my nails. And I was like, that's cool. What else you got?
Wow.
And I was like, oh, wait a minute. Like, who's going to photograph this? I'm not, what do you mean? Like, I can't just, I'm not a porn star. I'm not finna, I do comedy. I'm not finna bust it open. I had a few naughty pictures, and I dropped them. And then I made a quick 50 G's.
Woo.
And after that, I was like, okay, that's enough. Because I'm not finna do nothing else. I'm not sucking no dicks. I'm not doing no shit like that. And so I stopped it. They were very disappointed. Too bad. And so I shut it down.
You made it and you got out.
Yeah, and I went and bought a house.
I love it. That's right.
Period.
And I love that you're into body positivity. You talked about Monique, big girls and everything. A lot of women come up to you and thank you for being curvy and representing for the big girls?
Yeah, they do, but it's all bullshit because I'm really not proud of a double chin or a belly. But you're either going to get off your ass and do something about it, or you're going to take the shortcut and get on the needle, or you're going to just accept it and try to, look the best you can. Like, bitch, if you're Chubby, don't wear. I don't know these bitches that got the confidence to wear these motherfucking mid shirts. I'm like, what are you doing, honey? You look like a fool. I would never, I wouldn't even wear nothing tight now. And it may be camouflage because by the time anybody really sees all this, there's a hard dick somewhere and ain't nobody turning back. And nobody never not fucked a bitch because she fat. It's never happened in the history of the world. Because that's why you got a bunch of fat pregnant women. Shit. So, but I'm not walking around ashamed, you know what I'm saying? And if women who saw my Fenty spreads and saw my Penthouse and stuff, if they get inspiration for that and they say, I want to do a lingerie shoot too,
Right.
or which they did, or I'm going to buy some lingerie for myself too, then that's a good thing, I'm not telling nobody to go out and get fat, but if you are fat and if you're lazy like me, you ain't going to do nothing about it. Bitch, try to rock it the best you can. And stay away from them mid-these shirts, girls. Damn.
That's a PSA.
Period. A whole PSA.
You talked about growing up in Oakland, and you represent for the city. What was that like, and how did it impact your comedy?
Well, growing up, when I grew up in Oakland, first of all, it was the music. We had the Pointer Sisters. We had Tony. We had Too Short. We have E40 out of Vallejo. We had the Edwin Hawkins Singers. We had Digital Underground. Oakland had music, Tower of Power, Sly and the Family Stone. We had music. Mm-hmm. And then there was a lot of concerts that were out in the open, in the park, day on the green, stuff like that. It was much freer. Can't do that now because of the violence and the weirdness and the robberies and all that stuff. And there's always been dope in Oakland. They systematically put it there after they took away things like cheerleading, band, music, home ec, wood shop, auto shop. Why would they take that out the schools
For sure.
and then drop the drugs down and then want to just destroy us? And then it did. And this is back when black women were, had the afros and we were statuesque. We walked with pride. We had the Panthers that were feeding kids in the morning and walking girls to class so they wouldn't get, raped and jumped on campus. And so I know the good things about the Panthers.
For sure.
And I'm not buying into all the rhetoric that they say about the Panthers. I'm good friends with Chairman Fred Hampton right now. It made me more of an African-American historian, made me love my people. But I know the things that have happened now and the genocide that has come as a result of the, COINTELPRO and all that shit that they did to destroy us, and then it worked, So, but Oakland was a fabulous place when I was growing up. It was very pro-black, and I remain pro-black. Doesn't mean I'm anti-white, just means I'm pro-black. But I can get anti-white if you push me.
What has it been like as far as your contemporaries, as far as working together? Because you don't see many black women on the same show. And has that been a challenge, or has it something that you've been trying to do? Like, you had the Queens of Comedy, but there's never been anything else like that. Why do you think that has happened?
And the Queens weren't as successful as the Kings.
Right.
All the Kings ended up with their own shows. They got businesses, franchises. Why did that happen? Mm-hmm. Why did the Queens not get promoted like the Kings did? Why did they not have mansions and businesses and franchises like the boys do? Mm-hmm. I don't really have the answer to that. I don't know. I don't have any problem working with any women, as long as they're good.
That's right.
I don't have bad relationships with women in the industry. I'm about to leave here, go do the Sherry Shepherd show. Robin Montague is a contemporary of mine. She's a writer over there. I've been knowing Robin for years. Laura Hayes was a mentor of mine coming up. Melanie Camacho, who's on tour with Kat, was on tour with me. When we were on tour with Kat, me and Samora are fine. Me and Monique are fine. Whoopi, I've met me and Whoopi are great. Wanda Sykes, me and Wanda are great. I know a lot of women. Zainab, who's from here, yeah. And Gina Yashere, who wrote, Bob Hart's Abishola.
Yeah.
All the chicks. I don't have a problem with chicks, black and other nationalities, Latin, Puerto Rican, Asian, Otsaku, Margaret Cho. I fuck with all the girls. I don't promote shows. I only promote my little shows. And so I want to do a tour with females of all nationalities, like an Asian woman, a Mexican woman, a black woman, a white woman, and a gay one, right? Who gonna come see it? Because men don't support women in comedy. You can get 10 girls to go see Mike Epps, but you can't get 10 guys to come see me. Maybe 5, maybe 3, maybe 2. But you can't, they don't support it. And without the men's support, we can only go so far. Men own the venues, men promote the venues, men run ICM, men run Gersh, men run the things. And if they didn't think that it was gonna make money, they're not gonna do it. And if people don't keep it, women are so programmed to see men, they don't even realize that they done bought a ticket to see 5 guys without a female on the show.
Without one.
And we're 70% of the ticket buyers.
For sure.
So it's the women's fault too, for not saying, hey, there's not a female on the show. Eddie's documentary was fabulous, I thought. Didn't have one female comic in it.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
Yep. I noticed
They had
that.
Tracy Ellis Ross.
Yep.
What has she got to do with anything? I don't know, other than being Eddie's friend. I worked with him. I made 2 movies with him. And I knew his brother Charlie, and me and Charlie were good friends. And I've been, to the house that you saw in the doc. But they couldn't, it gives that there was not a female that helped you, not a female that supported you, not a female that was involved with you. And once again, it's misogynistic. And I love that man. I love that man, but not one. And I need the women to wake up too. You're going to spend your New Year's listening to the opinion of 5 men. You don't want to. And then what are we going to do? Protest? They don't give a fuck for everybody who protests and say, hey, there's no women. They don't care. Because there's going to be people who. I just want it to be on people's mind. And you don't just put a woman on for the sake of having a woman, but she better be a bad bitch. If you're going to do a show with Bill Bellamy, with D. Ray Davis, with Tommy Davidson, Mark Curry, you got to be able to stand and kick ass with all of them. Right. You can't just be on there because you're a girl. So I just need, our women to be, not harder, but harder. You know what I mean? Nice girls finish last. They always said that.
We got to change the game again.
Well, they ain't got to do nothing, but this is what I'm doing.
That's right.
And
I'm going to let you go, but you have really embraced social media. What made you, well, not finally, but like you go live, you do a lot of things that maybe some of your contemporaries don't do. So what made you embrace social media so much? How are you having fun?
I think COVID did it. I don't think I did everything I do before COVID.
Okay.
Because we're in the house. The fuck? Can't see nobody, can't go nowhere, nobody coming over. And, if you just be home alone, what? I don't know what gave me the balls to do it, braless, I ain't got on no makeup. I'd be like, I don't give a fuck. You can click out if you don't want to. I'm at home. I don't have the urge to get all pretty for you. The only time I put on this, there's a check involved.
That's right.
Other than that, you're going to get me. I'm not ashamed of what I look like without makeup. I ain't ashamed of these old saggy titties. 90% of the women in the country got saggy ass titties. Everybody don't have the money or the desire to get cut on. I don't. Oh, yes, I wish they were up here instead of down here. I wish this was gone. I wish this was gone. I wish all that. Am I going to get cut on for that? No, because what if something happened? It's not like it is on reality TV. And this week they look like this, and next week they look like that. No, people get infections, people die, people get keloids. It may not work out the way you want it to. And I promised my daughter, who after Donda passed, I promised my daughter I would never get surgery for nothing other than to save my life. So I have to honor that promise to my daughter. What if she loses her mama because I wanted to be vain and go get a tummy tuck? That's not enough reason to risk my life.
But that's real.
Yeah.
That's a real.
I want it.
Yeah.
Every day I wake up and wish, ooh, I'm going to get cool sculpting. That shit hurt. Or I'm going to go get this. You got to have stitches and drain. I just can't do it. I have a very low tolerance for pain. I can't do it.
Well, I'm glad you have the reality of it because people don't talk about that.
Shit.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
Yeah, what if it go wrong? You could get a nerve cut. Now your face is paralyzed. You could get keloid. How do you know if you don't keloid until you get cut? You know? And then if you lose this weight, you get on the needle. Now you got skin. Now you got skin. Now you got to get cut. And now you look like melted ice cream under your clothes. And it's just a vicious cycle, and it costs money.
Yeah.
I'm going to spend $65,000 on some surgery. I could have put that into my kid. I could put that into another property.
For sure.
I'm not doing it.
That's
So
right.
all you men out there that like chubby girls, hey, holler at me in my DMs at Luenell, Luenell. I'm having a closeout sale on this pussy right now.
And on that note, for those who don't know, how can people find you on social media?
Okay, so you can hit me on my Instagram at Luenell, Luenell. And there's only one Luenell spelled like that. That's on my Facebook and all that kind of stuff too. I guess I'm on, what is that? I don't know if, what's the other shit you do?
Threads.
I guess I'm on that. I don't do that. My social media girl does that. I don't know what's on them other things, but I do my own Instagram most of the time.
It is fun. And
You like it?
It's so fun. I love when you go live. Yeah, you keep it real. You watching the show. You eating. You're doing your thing.
Smacking.
I love it.
They be like, close your mouth. Be like, block. Fuck you. I'm at home. And, you shouldn't smack when you hear fuck you back. Block. That's my favorite button on the phone. The block button. I'll block a nigga ass in a minute.
Yeah, you keep it 100. That's why we love you. That's why we love you. Thank you so much for being
Thanks for
here.
letting me be me.
Thank you for being a comedy diva. We really appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for being here. Thank you, Luenell. And please like, subscribe, comment. Let us know what you thought of this amazing diva. And thank you for being here. I'm Sharon B. This is Comedy Divas Girl Talk Podcast. Bye.
Comedy divas, we run this town.